Hey, good day. It is Friday. I think the 16th or 17th. I gotta get better at the dates. Anyhow, just turn on the phone to have a conversation. It's a log or whatever, and I believe it's day 40. Manifestation journey. There comes a point in time in life, in relationships, in love, that you're going to be faced with a decision. You're going to be faced with a decision. It's not going to be a decision that you saw coming, perhaps. It's not going to be an enjoyable situation. It's going to have effects on other people, perhaps, and their expectations on you from their perspectives. But nonetheless, there is going to come that point in time. Everybody will have to deal with it. And at that time, hopefully, you will have, or we will have, a sense of maturity of integrity to deal with it properly. Because make no mistake about it, that time is coming and may be upon you. So a couple of things from personal experience that I've noticed about that time, and I should say a couple of considerations, or a few considerations. Simply, is that thing, that person, that situation of value to you? Now, you can look at that from various standpoints or points of consideration. I'm not asking, did they ever have value? Or did that situation or thing ever have value? I'm saying, is there value as it stands at the point you are presented with that hard and difficult decision? Because if you can find no value in someone, something, or a situation, then you're not willing to sacrifice, you're not willing to pay for it. Value is defined as what someone, or something that someone is willing to pay. You can substitute the word pay with sacrifice, give, it's a very unselfish, perhaps, consideration. I probably could put it a better way, but it's definitely a sacrifice. In other words, I worked hard to earn a few dollars, and if I'm willing to take those few dollars, I might have put in 55 hours in the week. But because I value something to whatever extent, I'm willing to take that currency that represents my labor, my blood, sweat, and tears. I'm willing to take a portion of that and give it away to somebody in exchange for what I value. So again, if you don't find any value in the situation, the person, or the thing, that's saying that you are not willing to exchange yourself to obtain that thing or the situation or that person. You're not willing to do that. And so anyone that's not willing to do that for you, again, finds no value in you, has difficulty seeing your worth, and therefore it's going to be displayed, whether now, tomorrow, or in the future. It's going to come out. You're going to see that that person does not value you, has no more value in you. Whether they did in the beginning, everybody has value in mind in the beginning of the relationship, or everything. When you got that gift for Christmas as a young, immature, child, you wanted that thing all year long, perhaps a couple years long, a bike or whatever. And in that very same week, after you unwrapped it and you have it in your possession, now you're leaving it in the yard and it's raining on the doggone bike. The chain starts getting rusted. Your parents are yelling at you. We paid a lot of money for that bike. You at one time valued that bike. You slept on it, dreamt about it, showed it off to your friends up and down the street. But now, a mere week or two later, or perhaps even a couple days later, you're not acting as if you find value in that bicycle. Now, going on with that analogy, the reason as to why you might have lost value in that bike. Perhaps you have eyes on another bike. Perhaps a bike that is bigger, faster, has a more cushy seat. Remember the old banana seats? They were ugly, but they were comfortable. Those Huffies, remember the Huffy bikes with the banana seats? And so the human condition says we want bigger, better, faster, taller, longer. Right? That's the human condition. We're hardly ever satisfied. So we have the tendency, after that bike starts to get rusty, or it's not as comfy as the other one over there, or you merely outgrow it. That's a part of the human condition too. What I liked 10 years ago, I might not like today. Is that a natural phenomenon? Or is that a defect in us? And so the point is that in whatever case, value is no longer found. Value has diminished, depreciated. And when that happens, the result is, as that bike, you find yourself out in the rain. It's cold and wet. Less than ideal circumstances, situations. And then you find that the injurious or depreciated status contributes further to more degradation, because now that the bike chain is rusted, now that the seat is uncomfortable, now you Now you want to modify it. It don't even look the same anymore. You know, now you got to cover it up and put tape or cushion, more cushion on there. It just looks lumpy. It's not the way that the manufacturer designed it to be. Because now I got to modify this thing. And I can't wait to get something else. Because it's not what I thought it was. It's not as pretty as it used to be. Is that not the human condition? And is that a defect in human, in humanity? Or is that just nature? Is that just natural? So we're going to be faced with this continually and persistently through life. And who is setting the value? Who is setting the proper way to deal with this human condition? Who's telling you how it's supposed to be? Did you learn it in the public schools? Did you learn it from your forefathers and foremothers? Did you learn it from a book? Did you learn it from TV? Who's telling you how you should react or respond to the very real and natural human condition of, I'll say, replacement theory, where when something gets rusted, you lose attraction in it, it no longer has value. What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to find some cushion, something external to the product, the person? Are you supposed to find something to beautify the person? I mean, sometimes in dating situations or in marriage type situations, sometimes, I'll use a woman, sometimes a woman will go above and beyond once it is perceived that she is no longer valued, or at least her physical appearance is no longer valued. Then she will go and maybe do something drastic, like get a haircut, a shorter haircut, or change her makeup, or you get what I'm saying? This is also part of the human condition. It's survival. And someone said, in regards to relationship and the flame going out and passion dying or whatever, someone said that what it took to get the woman or man in the first place, in the very beginning, is what it's going to take to keep them. And oftentimes, because of one of my pet peeves, considerations in having to do with relationships is, we lay these expectations on people, and now we force people to live up to those expectations. And wouldn't you know it, that those expectations tend to be or grow above and beyond what the individual was willing to offer in the first place. Because remember, they're the expectations of the one that perceives that there is a duty, there is something owed. Well, wouldn't you know that it's also the human condition for us to always add things? Remember, I use the analogy of the telephone game. Remember, you'd whisper in one person's ear, sit in a circle with, 5, 10 other people, and you'd whisper in one person's ear, and you'd find that by the time it got back around, to the individual that started it, that it sounds nothing like, or the words have changed. It's nothing like what they had sent out in the first place. That is the human condition. We always add to it because we like, we're artists, by nature. We're creators. We're gods and goddesses by nature. We always add a little bit more to spice up the story. And so people with expectations, which is natural, that's also a natural situation. It's okay to have expectations. Through expectations, we garner hope. Right? You can hope in whatever you want to hope in. One day you get to Disney World if you aspire to do that. It could take 10 years to save up to do something like that. That's not cheap. Right? But in your expectation, you're going to have a certain expectation when you have saved up that money. you're going to have an expectation of what it's going to be like. And thereby you establish a hope and anticipation with pleasure. Like Christmas morning. But, so the point is that expectations are the detriment to relationships. Who told you that you own somebody? Who told you that you can own somebody? Who told you you have the right to own somebody? As far as I know, slavery has been abolished. Human rights have taken the forefront. But yet we keep the institution of marriage, a civil union. That's what we live and we die by. That teaches you that you are no longer yourself. You're no longer, your body is not your own. That's, tenets of Christianity. If my body is no longer my own, then whose is it? Whose is it? And wait a minute, let's back this all the way up. Who gave whomever the right to take my body away and give it to somebody else? What governmental authority empowered one human to subject another human to bodily servitude, slavery? Perhaps we got this all messed up. And so those considerations are what levy obligations and duties, which quite possibly I'm like, wait a minute. Nah. What you mean till death do us part? Wait a minute. Isn't there other things that might happen that might necessitate us parting? Wait, what you mean till death do us part? Nah, Joker. Wait a minute. 5 years down the road, I still don't know this character. I don't know their character. I don't know their personality. I don't know it like I'm, you know what I mean? I might not want to stay in it for 50 years. What you mean? What you mean? Make it make sense. Because we've been drudged through this Western society, and this obviously does not work. This whole model obviously doesn't work. Because a lot of freaking people in these civil unions are just not happy, but they must put on the show that they are for the sake of the community, for the sake of the children. We got to put on a show. And so in closing, 18 minutes, I know I'm on my soapbox here, but this is going to help you and people. We, guys and gals, men and women, we need to start talking about this. Because I'm not believing that anybody should stay in a relationship with somebody that every day is making them miserable. Life is already challenging enough. You already have to do all kinds of unnatural things you know are not good for you in order to navigate this so-called life. Why add to it bodily bondage, enslavement? Because of a piece of paper, enslavement. Because of a civil order. Why? Life is already difficult enough to navigate. Love who you love. Listen what I'm going to say. Call me Bishop. Love who you want to love. And when the love, and if the love does not stand the test of time, and who determined what the test of time is? I don't have to be in love with you for 20 years. You're a moment in my universe. Maybe you are only meant to exist in my universe as long as a shooting star. Maybe you're not meant to be with me for my whole duration on this side of existence. Quite possibly. I've got friends that come and go, and I don't see them again for 10 years, and I'm cool with that. Until I see them again. They come around like Halley's Comet, and I'm cool with that. And they have their place in my existence, and I have in theirs, a place in theirs. Because some people, if you just stick around them every day, all day, for the next 5-10 years, one of y'all gonna off yourself. Because you know you can't stand each other. Some people you can only take in small increments. Isn't that okay? Expectations, the bane of human society. Nobody should be forced to, encouraged to, or made to feel bad to for not bonding themselves through contract, their physical body, losing their individuality, giving it up, putting it on the altar of sacrifice for somebody else, unless it's my children and they are in danger. Or if I so choose, but not bound by a contract, by a piece of paper or a civil order, but if I choose on my way home today, if there's an individual, a human child in a car that is burning, I have the right to make that decision to jump into that car, perhaps killing and sacrificing myself to save that child. But don't come put a contract in front of me and say sign here and you're agreeing every time you see a burning car to go jump in headlong. That's the freedom of choice. That's what makes us great as human beings. Is we have integrity, we have pure hearts, and we'll do the right thing when propositioned or posed or given the choice. We will do the right thing for the most part. There are those who won't, but that's okay. They're fewer in number. I'm passionate today. I'm fired up today because I'm sick of us being played like puppets on strings in order to satisfy every hope, wish, and prayer of the beast system. I'll just put it like that. At some point in time, we need to exercise our humanity again and stop just relying upon government and agencies and all that kind of stuff to do the right thing for us. That includes handouts, government subsidies, and whatever. Excuse me for spitting. I'm spitting mad. No, I'm not. I take that back. Speak life. Positivity. Whew. All right. That's been 23 minutes. We're going to be faced with these decisions. This is where we started. And hopefully you exercise maturity in your decision-making processes. And don't let anybody guilt you into anything. Live your life and live it to the fullest. Help humanity. Help your fellow neighbors if you see them in trouble. This is not what I'm saying I'm speaking against. I'm talking about the expectations that are leveled against you that cause you to come out of your individuality. You're no longer even being yourself because there's a mandate and expectation that you act in a certain way. And if you don't, everybody is judgmental and acting like they always live in their best life. Stop throwing stones when you live in a glass house, as it's said. All of us have issues. We should be working together to help each other through them, not further burdening and obligating when you're already down, using civil orders and contracts and things to get the upper hand on your fellow human beings out here for $1. People are dying, dropping dead at work because they're overstressed, no sleep, drinking themselves into stupidity because it's hard to cope. Stop this buffoonery. Stop it. Live your best life today. This is all you have. Live your best life. Skip the obligations and stop leveling them against other people as well. Love your fellow human beings. Hope for the best in everybody. That's what we're supposed to be doing. If you love them, love them. If that love fades, you have every right to move the hell on. Because there's way more beautiful people everywhere. In other countries, states, cities. Migrate if you must. We got to get back to living again. Because this is not living. And that's all I have to say. Love you all. I'll talk to you next time on the next upload. All right, time to get some work done. Peace. Happy Friday.